Now at 5:30, 3 people broke into a Lexington home overnight. Police say a teenager was hurt during the invasion. We'll have more on that just ahead.
Also on WKYT this morning, Georgetown College placed on probation by accreditors. The reason why, what they plan to do, coming up this morning on WKYT.
We now know details about why health inspectors closed a local restaurant. We'll have that story coming up ahead this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning, and it's so good to have you with us on WKYT on this Thursday morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope your day's off to a fabulous start. It seems like one severe weather day after the next lately.
That's to us. You imagine the weather, folks. Micah's busy. Today is another WKYT First Alert Severe Weather Day. Hot weather on the way and maybe some strong storms.
Yeah, we're watching the first batch up toward the far northern zones. They have now canceled that severe thunderstorm warning. And you look at it and you can see the bulk of it is actually out ahead of that, out ahead of what we're seeing there in Boone, Kenton, and Campbell counties. But if you're sitting in northern portions of, say, Bracken County, if you're sitting in northern portions of, say, Pendleton County, those are areas that are about to get slammed by this storm as it passes on through. No severe thunderstorm warning on it right now in that area. It's mainly actually to the north of the river. But Mason County heads up. Bracken County heads up, Pendleton County heads up. You are next in line with this storm. Now, as we go through the day, remember, that's the first batch, and that actually fades away here in the next few hours. So there is a small chance of rain during the daylight hours. It's mainly about the temperatures at 92. Then we hit late afternoon, early evening to see those storms spark up, and they'll go through the evening and night. Guys, we're going to be talking about that and go hour by hour. And then I'm going to show you more heat there for the weekend. That's coming up.
Okay, heat we can deal with. Let's get those storms on out of here. Thank you, Micah. Police say a teenager was injured in an overnight home invasion.
They say 3 people broke in about 3 o'clock this morning to a home on Anniston Drive in Lexington. WKYT's Mark Barber is live there for us with details.
Good morning, Rebecca. We just wrapped up an interview with the grandfather who was tied up and held down during this home invasion. We'll have that interview for you just a little later on WKYT this morning. And when you hear from that man, Tim Horn, you will hear him describe just how helpless he felt staring into the barrel of a gun while he watched 3 attackers beat his grandson with a baseball bat. Now, this violent home invasion happened here on Anniston Drive around 3 o'clock this morning. That's when 2 men and 1 woman broke in through the back door of a home here. The grandfather says that they immediately got him, his wife, and his grandson's girlfriend down on the floor. They were holding a gun and baseball bats on them. That's when they tied their hands behind their back with tape and then did the same thing to their feet. He says that they told them to give them money, but none of them had anything, so that's when they turned their attention to his 18-year-old grandson. He says his grandson would not submit to the attackers, so they started beating him repeatedly with a baseball bat. He says that at one point he thinks his grandson was even tased. He this morning has a broken nose and a possible concussion. We are told he will likely be released from UK hospital soon, but his grandfather says when he was taken to the hospital, he could barely see out of one of his eyes. They were even picking him up and throwing him around into windows and various things in the home. So a terrifying scene for him to watch, as he says, felt so helpless seeing his grandson just be beaten in this way. Now, police say they are searching for these people, but they are not actively looking for them at this moment. That's because their canines were not able to find them when they were searching the neighborhood earlier this morning. As far as why this happened, that is still a mystery to this family here. They tell me that their grandson kept telling these 3 attackers over and over again, "You got the wrong house." So police are investigating the motive behind this violent home invasion this morning, and the family here is still very puzzled, but feeling very fortunate to all be alive. That's the latest here in Lexington. I'm Mark Barber, WKYT.
Thank you, Mark. We now know more about why the Fayette County Health Department shut down a Lexington restaurant. Health inspectors closed Red Bang Bang Chinese restaurant on West Maxwell Tuesday. A woman claims she found a dead mouse in her meal there. A picture claiming to show that mouse has been shared a lot of times on Facebook. The restaurant says it reached out to the health department asking for an inspection. The health department says inspectors did find mouse droppings in the restaurant, so they decided to close it for now. Inspectors say getting a report about rodents in food is unusual.
We didn't see any activity or anything that would indicate that they had got into the food, but I can't comment any further regarding the picture that was posted.
A representative for the restaurant says managers are using this time to renovate the restaurant. They hope they can reopen Monday. The health department says it will have to inspect again first. Restaurant management says they're taking the woman's claim seriously, but they are also skeptical because they say she asked them for $25,000.
Time this morning is 5:35 on WKYT. New this morning, Georgetown College placed on probation by a regional accreditation organization. The Southern Association of Colleges and Schools, its commission on colleges, says the probation will last a year. It says Georgetown College has failed to comply with financial stability requirements. In a letter sent to the campus community, Georgetown's president, M. Dwayne Green, says the probation was expected. He blames large enrollment declines in 2012 and 2013 that led to budget deficits. But Green says enrollment has increased in the last few years and the financial situation is now improving. He expects all the issues to be resolved during the probation period. Drivers and passengers in small SUVs may not be getting the same safety protection. Here's Michelle Chamberlain at our alert desk with more on that this morning. Michelle.
Bill, new crash tests conducted by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety show some smaller SUVs may not protect the passenger as much as the driver in certain crashes. Now, 7 types of small SUVs were tested. The 2015 Toyota RAV4 had the only poor rating. The Institute says safety structures on the driver's side are not always equivalent on the passenger side, and more than 1,600 passengers died in frontal crashes in 2014. The Institute adds that the problem needs to be addressed and fixed so that, of course, passengers can be as protected as those driving them. Now, only one of the 7 SUVs tested passed with a good grade. That's the 2016 Hyundai Tucson. Now, the other models in the test, the 2015 Buick Encore and Mazda CX-5, along with the 2014 Nissan Rogue and Subaru Forester.
All right, so, be advised
Yeah.
as you make your choices out there. At 5:37 now, the U.S. House has adjourned until after July 4th, shutting down a round-the-clock sit-in by Democrats.
That was the scene overnight during a rare sit-in on the House floor. Democrats chanting "No bill, no break," demanding a vote on gun control. Until the sit-in, the big political news of the day was the back-and-forth attacks between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump.
Hannah Daniels has the latest on campaign 2016.
Doesn't appear that I'm going to be the nominee, so I'm not.
This may be the closest Bernie Sanders has come to acknowledging his Democratic rival, Hillary Clinton, will be the party's nominee. In an interview with C-SPAN, the Vermont senator says he is urging Clinton to pick a liberal running mate.
We're trying to do nothing less than transform the Democratic Party.
While there is a reported list on potential VP picks, on Wednesday, Clinton focused on her likely opponent in the general election, Donald Trump, after the billionaire businessman unleashed a scathing and personal attack on the former Secretary of State, calling her a world-class liar.
He's going after me personally because he has no answers on the substance.
In a nearly hour-long speech at one of his hotels in New York City, Trump called Clinton the most corrupt person to ever run for president, targeting her highly controversial email account and criticizing the Clinton Foundation.
Hillary Clinton has perfected the politics of personal profit and even theft.
Trump is taking a break from the campaign and heading to Scotland on Friday for the grand reopening of one of his luxury golf courses. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
The attacks are getting strong. Bernie Sanders will give a speech today in New York City to talk about his next move, now that he's realized he will not be the nominee. Well, new this morning, threats from a passenger forced pilots to make an emergency landing out in Arizona. The flight was headed to Los Angeles from San Antonio when it had to land in Tucson yesterday afternoon. Officials say the passenger was unruly and would not sit down. When the plane landed in Tucson, the FBI took the man into custody. After passengers were rescreened, the flight continued on to L.A.
Wildlife officials in Florida now think they have captured the alligator that killed a 2-year-old boy last week. Investigators say the gator dragged Lane Graves into a lagoon near the Grand Floridian Resort at Disney World. Last night, wildlife officials said they have stopped alligator trapping activities in the area after removing 6 gators. They say they are confident one of those killed the boy based on expert analysis and staff observations. Well, new this morning, the Coast Guard says it has found a body while searching for a missing Florida father and his 3 children. Investigators say the body was found in a debris field that is believed to be part of a sailboat off the Gulf Coast near Fort Myers. The body has not been identified. Search crews have been looking for 45-year-old Ace Kimberly and his 3 teenage children. They left Sarasota on their sailboat Sunday, and they have not been heard from since.
Well, when you're out on the lake, you usually don't expect to see anything more than fish. So a family got a big surprise when they spotted a bear swimming in Lake Cumberland. Isn't that neat? Sharon Gorham posted the video of the bear swimming on Facebook. It's gotten more than 500,000 views in less than a week.
To see a bear on land is something, you know, I might be a little bit more nervous, but in the water, it was just, I just thought it was cool.
It is very cool. Wow, that's amazing. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says they've had several calls lately from folks claiming to see bears outside the woods. Deputies say they strongly advise people not to attempt to feed the bears. Probably some good advice there. It's not only illegal, but very dangerous for both the person and the bear.
Very interesting at a distance, right? Okay, it is pretty creative, an adaptation of the popular Running Man Challenge videos. Cynthiana police show off some of their town's pop culture in a zombified Running Man video that's been posted on their Facebook page. While it's Atlanta in the TV show, in the original comic book series, Cynthiana was the hometown of the Walking Dead's main character, Deputy Rick Grimes.
That sounds serious. Better put our donuts up. You 10 for Cynthia.
At the end of the video, Cynthiana police challenged the Harrison County Sheriff's Department, the Bourbon County Sheriff's Department, Georgetown Police, and Paris Police. So they have some fun, go a little regional with their challenges there.
Looks like they are having a good time.
All in good fun. It's 5:42 now on WKYT this morning. Let's get our first check on traffic and see what is going on out there this morning.
Yeah, not hearing of too many traffic issues. A live look and a wide view of the traffic map there in town, showing some things looking good. And here's a look at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government's live drive cam. This one at New Circle and Meadow Lane.
And the early birds are on the move out there, but we have no reports of any problems or delays so far this morning. That's good. More news coming up for you on WKYT on your Thursday morning.
Most pet owners want you to comment on how cute their animals are, of course. Kind of like their kids, right? But this woman wants her dog to be named the world's ugliest. We'll tell you why ahead.
And we're looking at those storms, far northern zones. They'll skirt right along the AA highway and right along the river, and that won't really affect most of us. Now, we get into the late afternoon, early evening and start to see those storms pop up. That's what's going to affect most of us. I'm going to talk about that and show you an hour-by-hour forecast coming up. As we spoke about earlier, now we're starting to see another severe thunderstorm warning in effect for Mason County and also Lewis County. It's all of Mason, all of Lewis, but it even includes a little portion there of Bracken County. Nonetheless, if you're sitting in Bracken and Pendleton County, northern zones, you are absolutely getting hammered with some heavy rain and also a lot of lightning. But the strongest portion of it, as you actually see kind of the bowing out part of it, is actually going to be from your Mason County onward. So Mason County, Vanceburg, and Lewis County, heads up. You do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 6:30 a.m. We still have some time before that pushes on through. You're going to have some strong winds out of this, no doubt about it, but also that very heavy rain. And you know what? You have even more rain back behind that. So the next storm that rolls through here in just about an hour, hour and a half, could lead to some localized flooding. So you actually have two things to worry about here coming up through the next couple of hours. We go through the day, there's really not much going on during the daylight hours. Daylight hours, small chance of rain. Afternoon, late afternoon into the early evening hours, look what happens. Here's 7 a.m., there's your timestamp top of the screen, or 7 p.m. rather, and there you go. I would say anywhere from 4 p.m. at the earliest to about 5, 6 p.m. That's when you start to see those pop up in the far northern zones, and then they'll slide southbound. Here in Lexington and I-64 corridor, anywhere from 5 to 8 p.m., and then it slides southbound. There's 9 p.m., and you can still see it trying to make its way into the southern zones. There's midnight, still holding on to the southern zones, and right around 2 to 3 a.m. is when I expect a lot of that just to move on out. So it could be a long night for some of us, very noisy night too, with once again damaging winds being our main player. Then we get off into where is the best chance of rain? Where is the best chance of strong to severe storms? Still looks like that 64 corridor northbound will be the better opportunity to see strong to severe storms. And the reason why that is because, number one, the energy's to the north, but number two, it's mainly during the daylight hours there for the enhanced area. Slight chance is mainly during the evening and nighttime hours. So you lose that heating of the day, and that actually allows you to drop some of those chances of severe weather. So your 7-day forecast looks like this. Obviously, the severe storms today, anywhere from 4 p.m. to about 2 a.m. is when we can see it start in the north, finish off in the south. Friday and Saturday, guys. Looks good, but it's going to be very hot there for the weekend in mid-90s in the forecast. Very hot. Here we go with
Makes
it.
you want to sing.
Sticky stays, right?
That's
okay.
right.
Thank you very much, Micah. 5:48 right now.
Well, most pet owners want you to comment, of course, on how cute their animals are, kind of like their kids.
Yeah, you know, what a cute dog and so forth. But there's an Idaho pet owner hoping her dog has what it takes to be crowned the world's ugliest dog. Here it is. It's Himazaboo, is that his name?
Himazaboo.
Himazaboo. All right. His owner.
Himazaboo.
Himazaboo. His owner says there's one thing that gives him the edge over other candidates, and that is his eye-catching comb-over.
And we figured whether people loathe the Donald or love the Donald, a vote for Himazaboo is a vote for a dog that looks like Donald Trump.
Okay, the world's ugliest dog contest will be tomorrow in California. A spokesperson says the contest is about celebrating all dogs and pets by showing that no matter what their imperfections, they are adoptable, lovable, and a great addition to any family.
It is amazing how that does look like the Donald.
Right.
I wonder how the Donald feels about that.
There'll probably be uglier dogs out there than that, so we'll see how that contest turns out.
They're all cute, in my opinion.
All
That's
right.
just me.
There you go.
Coming up, you'll get the stories making news right now.
Also, we'll be checking traffic again, see how things are moving out there. We have some health news and a lot more. Hey, it's great to have you with us on WKYT this morning. Hey, good morning. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. We're live with you here from Lexington, 5:53 on your Thursday.
Hope your day's off to an awesome start. Let's get a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you at this hour.
We have a lot going on this morning. Police say about 3 o'clock this morning, 3 people broke into a house on Anniston Drive in Lexington. An 18-year-old tried to fight them off and was hurt in the process. Investigators say they don't know why that particular home was targeted.
Georgetown College has been placed on probation. A regional accreditation organization says the college failed to comply with financial stability requirements. Georgetown presidents said that the probation was expected. Well, Democrats continue to stage a sit-in on the House floor. They are demanding a vote on gun control legislation. This, of course, follows the massacre in Orlando.
Lawmakers took over the floor shortly before noon yesterday, streaming their efforts on social media. Republican House Speaker Paul Ryan vows to move forward with legislative business and is now adjourning Congress for a week-long recess.
Well, Donald Trump takes his presidential campaign to Scotland a day after slamming Hillary Clinton during a foreign policy address. Yesterday, the presumptive Republican nominee called Clinton a, quote, world-class liar, claiming her actions as Secretary of State destabilized the Middle East. The presumptive Democratic nominee fired back, saying Trump's speech was full of, quote, outlandish lies and conspiracy theories.
Investors on Wall Street are keeping a very close eye on a crucial vote in Britain today on whether the country should stay in the European Union. Britain has been a part of the 28-nation bloc for 4 decades. Conservatives are calling for the UK to become independent, but British Prime Minister David Cameron believes the move would cause financial chaos.
Now for your top health stories today. A new study finds women less likely than men to receive life-saving procedures when having a heart attack.
Hospital data shows women are 25% less likely to receive coronary angiography and 29% less likely to have angioplasty when in cardiac arrest. New York researchers were unable to pinpoint a reason for that.
Researchers at the University of North Carolina say smokers are not aware of the toxic chemicals in cigarettes. They suggest the FDA expand its messaging about the dangers to get smokers to quit and to keep others from starting to smoke. Let's get a check right now. Today's traffic trouble spots with a look at live drive traffic on your day before Friday.
See what's going on. Here are the drive times in to Lexington right now from Nicholasville, a 12-minute ride. From Georgetown, about normal at 15 minutes. Richmond, just about a half hour or so, and you'll be into Lexington, so no issues there. We'll take a look now at the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government live camera at New Circle and Meadow Lane. And everybody who's out early this morning doing just fine in that early morning sunshine. No reports of any problems this morning. I don't guess it's really sunshine. It's
about to be.
About to be daylight, maybe. We'll call it that for now.
Hopefully not too much severe weather that sunshine will be dealing with.
Yeah, it looks like we have a severe thunderstorm warning there in the far northern zones. Now remember, this is going to clip northern Kentucky and northeastern Kentucky. Not so much everybody else. Everybody else is pretty much free and clear of these storms because they're racing eastbound. So you're going to have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect 6:30, and that goes for Brad. Bracken, well, actually Bracken, it's the far, far eastern portion of Bracken, Mason County, and also Lewis County, once again, until 6:30. The breakdown, if you're about to leave, this is what you want to look at real quick. Severe timing on this. This is the second batch I'll be talking about, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Far northern zones, 5 to 8 p.m. across 64 corridor. You can see the yellow shade anywhere from 7 p.m. to about 10 p.m. And then 9 to about 1 a.m. This is going to be more of an evening off into the nighttime event. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you more on this forecast, more details, just a few minutes.